On Power Talk this week, we're speaking with Safaricom CEO Dr. Peter Ndegwa. We're taking a look at their results, what has been a milestone year for the company, and he's here to speak with me on that. Thank you, Peter. It's always nice to speak to you.
Nice to be here.
Good.
Yvonne.
Let's talk about this year. Milestone year. We'll get to M-Pesa at 18, Safaricom at 25 in a moment. But some impressive numbers that you've posted in your financial results.
Yeah.
Won't get into many of them, but it's certainly remarkable that the company has made over 3 billion in revenues. 69 billion shillings in profits.
Yeah.
But those are numbers that are a first in the region. Talk to us about these numbers and what they mean for your customers and your shareholders and other stakeholders.
Yeah, so Yvonne, you're right. The last time I came here, and I was actually with Jeff, I was talking about us celebrating 24 years in October last year. And that's when we went to do Sambaza Furaha. We started the whole year-long celebration leading up. This year will be 25 years, so Silver Jubilee in October. And then M-Pesa celebrated 18 in March, and we can actually speak about that a bit more. But it's about 25 years and 18 years of transforming lives and actually driving financial inclusion. So the numbers that everyone sees of $3 billion, which is a first in the region, should be put in the context of the services that we provided to the country, the innovations that we bring, but also the impact that we create on community through our foundations and so on. I always say we impact community in 3 ways. We are the biggest supporter of Kenyan Passion Points, sports and all that, spent $2.5 billion since we were started. We are the biggest owner of the big foundations. So we spent 20 billion in the past 5 years alone in health, education and economic empowerment. And then of course the services we offer, both on the connectivity and financial services. But in terms of results, we are very pleased. Kenya was very strong, 95 billion profit, almost 100 billion. Yeah. Ethiopia started to come to the party, 9 million customers. We built a network that is half of Kenya in just 3 years.
Yeah, and let's talk about Ethiopia for a moment. Sort of mixed, right? So you doubled customer numbers, but you still made...
Why do you say mixed?
Well, good thing in terms of growing your numbers.
Yes.
But it's still making net losses.
Yes.
It's been, $1 billion investment for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
When do you see this turning around?
Yeah. So Ethiopia was always going to have startup, what we call startup losses. So we went in, we got the license in 21. We started commercial operation in 22. And in 3 years, we've built 3,100 sites. In Kenya, we have just over 6,000. That's about half of the network capacity we have in Kenya. That is actually all 4G enabled. So, of course, you are putting a lot of investment, $1.2 billion of investment in capacity. And then we have now 9 million customers. We've started to see acceleration in recruitment of customers. Until you have a network, you can't recruit customers. And also then we've launched M-Pesa. So there's always the first 4 or 5 years of really pushing the business. So what we have guided everyone is that by 2027, we will see that business turning what is called earning before interest, tax and depreciation, which is EBITDA positive.
Okay.
And next year, from next year, we'll start to see that business being what is called accretive to the Kenya business. So the losses will start to reduce. This year in particular, we had the foreign exchange issue, given the foreign currency reforms. So we are past the worst period in Ethiopia. And this year, the Ethiopia business contributed 10% of our growth. Next year, we expect it probably is 20–25%. So over time, we'll start to see Ethiopia really contributing to the group. What we guided for next year is that our net profit will grow by about 50%. 50% just because Ethiopia will start seeing lower losses, startup losses as we get towards profitability.
Okay. Let's talk about that milestone year now. M-Pesa at 18, Safaricom at 25. But also, importantly, you've completed the 5-year cycle.
Yes.
When you joined the company, your mantra was you were seeking to transform Safaricom into a tech company.
That's correct.
You finished the 5-year cycle.
Yeah.
Is Safaricom a tech company now?
Yes.
And what does that look like? What are the signposts that would say you are now a tech company?
Yeah. So when I came in 2020, we were a very successful telecommunication business. We were also a very successful mobile money business with a big platform that was really transforming the whole financial inclusion. But we knew the growth was slowing down. People were saying, what next? So that's the reason why we decided we are going to go and become a tech company. What tech company means is that we are providing solutions that allow people to live in a digital world. Whether you are individuals, we are enabling you to live in a digital world, or if you are an enterprise or even public sector, we support on solutions that allow consumers to live better. So over the past 5 years, we have made sure that the connectivity from our 4G is close to 100%. We have 97% 4G coverage. At the time when we started, we only have 50%. COVID accelerated the digitization adoption. We've seen M-Pesa transactions increase threefold. Data usage increased threefold. We've reduced our pricing so that digital services are more affordable. So 58% of M-Pesa transactions are now free. Data is more accessible. And we have actually reduced price of data by two-thirds. So the reason why we've started to reduce all those prices is so that people can use more. But we knew that even with the network, people will not have the ability to use unless we put more 4G devices. So now we have 23 million Kenyans who are using 4G devices on our network. And we have EDAC, which we set up to manufacture 4G devices. Yeah. So we believe that in the next 5 years, everyone in Kenya should have a 4G device. Yeah. Because for us to live in a digital world, you need to access the internet. So you need a 4G plus. Right. And in fact, now we also have 30% of our network is 5G. Yeah. So we will have 1 million customers. We already have 1 million customers who have 4G devices. So everyone will have you need a 4G device, so you need access to the internet. The second is we need solutions that treat you as an individual customer. So we've segmented our customers. Now we can identify through artificial intelligence. That's what tech companies do. What you need. We can actually offer services that are specific to you. We have something we are calling segment of one. So I can be able, looking at the data that we have, I can be able to see what needs you have, how much you use data, what time of day you use data. So we can offer services. So a student may be at night. A business person may be very early in the morning. And then financial services is a very big one. We've seen real acceleration in use of merchants. So merchants are now 700,000. At the time when we started the strategy, we were only 170,000. Agents have doubled. So the proximity of M-Pesa to everyone in the country is much closer to everyone. And then we have launched the super app, which is either the Safaricom app or the M-Pesa app. So continuing the trajectory of actually getting people closer to being a telco. And on the enterprise side, we are enabling enterprise digitize and also supporting government and public sector offer services in a digital sense. You and I forget we used to queue for IDs and passports and driver's licenses. So everyone should be included in a move to digital world. So if you ask me, are we a true telco? Probably we are on the way towards, because our next vision is to be Africa's leading purpose-led technology company. So we know there is still a way to go, but we've set the foundations. One of the other foundations we set up is now we are investing more in IT, information technology, than in network. Because for a telco, you need the capabilities, so we've put in 500 more developers who are working for us since 2021, and also we've gone agile. Agile is where you combine commercial skills and tech skills together to provide solutions to customers. So as long as customers feel that they are getting the services they need, then we are moving in the right direction. And the numbers show.
All right. And we'll talk about what that looks like. Now, you said, moving into the future, what the new purpose will be for Safaricom. But let's stay on this milestone year. It's been a good year for Safaricom, but Peter...
A great year.
It's a great year, as you say.
Yes.
But Peter, it's also been a year when the numbers are looking good, like you say, moving towards being a tech company. But it was also the year in which the country faced the protests in June and July of last year. These were the Gen Z-led protests that were seeking good governance.
Yeah.
And during that year, Safaricom has not had a positive sentiment with members of the public. Even when we posted this, it was a couple of questions.
Yeah.
There's a section of youth, who say your company played a role in the abductions in the country. What is your response to people who say you have good, big numbers, but you're losing public trust and you're losing, the public faith in Safaricom, which has been a key pillar in the country?
Yeah. So great companies, and Safaricom has been a great company, is being able to navigate the big moments, the great moments, but also the downsides, the crisis. So, for example, we played a very big role during the crisis of COVID. We gave transactions free. We came to the party during the drought process and all that stuff. So in a crisis like the one we faced last year when there was a Gen Z protest, we are a communication organization. There was an internet issue. So that was the first thing. Then the second thing is that there was the issue about data. And frankly, it doesn't matter what story we say. At the end of the day, we pride ourselves in delivering an always-on, safe, secure. And that's the reason why we've been successful. And in a way, we disappointed customers because the internet was not working at that point. Yeah. And then on the Gen Z side, I think it's a learning for everyone. It's a learning from a political perspective. It's a learning from a corporate perspective. Our employees, when you look at our employee base and our customer base, most of them are between Gen Z and millennials. So we've started to learn a lot more. We had already segmented our customers. The youth is a very important component of our customer base, but also of our employee base. We've had to learn, and we have created a generation, what we are calling a generation council, that allows us to learn more about what Gen Z want. So just going back to the specifics about our brand, I think a lot of it is perceptions. We don't give locations of customers. We pride ourselves in providing services that are secure and safe. You cannot provide M-Pesa for 365 days a year, and it is always available if it is not secure, and if it is not constructed in a way that it is safe. And the perceptions, yes, and that's one of the reasons why we've used the celebrations of 24, the celebrations of 18, and now we are going to celebration of 25 to re-establish and actually reconnect with our customers and say, look, there are some moments we disappointed our customers. And even if it is a perception, we have continued to re-engage our customers, educate them about how we keep their data safe, their money safe. And when you look at the complaints we have, people really still trust our brand. Our trust levels are still very, very strong. Our reputation is still very, very strong. Yes, there was a bit of a dent, for sure. There was a lot of reporting, a lot of it perceptions. Okay. Perceptions about being involved in some of the digitalization work with the public sector also came into play.
Yeah, and I also want to talk about that, because then there was the issue of the transition towards the new health coverage systems, questions about the Safaricom-led consortium that cost 104 billion. You led that 3-member consortium in a direct procurement process. Could you shed light on that deal? What is Safaricom's role in the healthcare system in the country? Yeah,
and just wanted to add one more point about the previous piece about whether customers are losing trust on our brand. Yes. If you looked at the results that we announced, there was significant customer growth. There was significant usage growth. There was growth across the board, which means that actually our franchise is still very relevant to our customers, and our customers still trust us. And actually,
are they safe with Safaricom? Is that what you're saying? That their data is safe?
My commitment as CEO and as Safaricom is to deliver a reliable, always-on, safe, secure. And all our communication is really reinforcing safe, secure. We got lots of certification last year on security, but also safety. We do not share data with the security agencies, as was alleged. And that's why I'm saying it is perceptions, and also some of it in the way it was reported. But at the end of the day, it is our brand. We have to take the good and the bad, and we have to deal with that. And just coming back now to the piece about healthcare. Yes. We have been involved with digitizing both the private sector and also the public sector for a very long time. Healthcare is just a continuum in that digitization work. We did a lot of work on the fintech side with Hustler Fund. We've been involved with the fertilizer subsidy. A lot of the work that, a lot of the benefits farmers are seeing today is because we are the ones who provided platforms. We have done the work on Inua Jamii. So the people who are older and also retired will be getting their stipends through M-Pesa for free through our M-Pesa agents, which are 300,000 of them. So healthcare should be seen in the context of us being a digitization provider to public sector, but also private sector. We have a connectivity business and we have a platform that pays. So with those two platforms, we were the best suited to be involved in healthcare. And I said earlier, we forget the time when we used to queue for IDs. We used to queue for all these things. So even in healthcare, we want to make sure that the experience of individuals when they go to a hospital is digitized, because the future is digital.
So what is the platform that Safaricom is doing? So exactly?
The whole thing about UAC, which is a universal health coverage, is a very expansive program. Our role is on the digitization element. I'll give you an example. So we are the ones who are responsible for ensuring when you try and go and register as a user of SHA, we are the ones, the platform is ours, and we are the ones who ensure that you get the right experience to register. When you go into a hospital, there will be a system that actually identifies you, and then the hospital uses to claim. So the digitization process, the users in hospitals, the doctors and nurses, will need tablets. We are the ones who are providing them with those tablets. So all the infrastructure, so the hospitals themselves need coverage. Many of them, we realize they didn't have 4G coverage, they didn't have fiber. Many of them in the remote areas will need probably satellite. So we will be responsible for ensuring that all the hospitals in this country, whether they are private, all the way from level 2, which is dispensaries, to healthcare, so are all digitized. Then when you get all the data, a patient can move with their data from one hospital to the other instead of manual files, because that's the way. And then there'll be kind of tracing of how that happens. Okay. The doctor can actually use the system that we have provided. So the whole digitization is what we are involved with, and it's a 10-year program. And also, in terms of being paid by the government, it is about completing our scope. Every of these providers has a scope. When you complete the scope, you have to go back to the ministry and say, here is the scope. And the SHA and also DHA will have to look and see that the scope has been completed. And then you are paid for the scope. We have not been paid a cent up to now. And we have been working for almost a year. But it means that there was always a period of time that we were going to have to deliver the services. And my personal view is that when the processes are fully digitized, when the hospitals are fully enabled, when the patients are fully empowered to use digital, it will be a fantastic system. I think there was lots of teething challenges. But from what I hear, we are starting to see benefits at level 2 and 3, which is the primary health care. The middle, which is the level 4, 5, and 6, the SHA is starting to take shape, and then the emergency, critical, and chronic illness one. Also, which the bottom one and the top one requires funding. I've seen it allocated funding through the finance bill. So the more of these things are funded, and everyone fully pays for it, I'm sure it will be a success. But I want to say that our job is to digitize. That is our role in this process. Okay.
What next? You're marking 25 years. That'll be in October.
Yes.
Speak to us about the new strategy and where you see Safaricom now. So beyond M-Pesa at 18, beyond your 25 years, beyond your 5-year cycle that you've completed, where do you see Safaricom? Where does it go from here?
So just like we got the board to approve a strategy for 2025, which we have actually done very well. We also last year got the board to approve our 2030 vision, which is Africa's leading purpose-led technology company. So again, continuing on creating a technology business that does two things, Yvonne. One is allows individuals or empowers individuals to live in a digital world. So we have to make sure ubiquitous internet coverage and solutions that allow people to use the internet in a way that allows them to live their lives, including how they access services, how they shop, how they work, how they access government services. All that is included in that. And then on the enterprise side, which is the small business but also large business, being the digitalization solutions provider of choice. Of course, we need to invest, to continue to invest in the platforms that we have in data centers, in all this, in AI, big data and AI. So, but also in the talent. Last year, we got everyone in Safaricom to learn and qualify in AI. So everyone is actually certified within Safaricom. So it's about continuing the journey, but ensuring that we deliver on the objectives of being Africa's leading digital provider of choice.
Indeed. Thank you very much for your time. Peter Ndegwa, the CEO of Safaricom, speaking to us about the milestone year and what lies ahead for the company, its customers, and its stakeholders. That's Power Talk for this week.